explosives. I drew those little buggies that they drive in on. And then my boss saw all my cartoons in my workspace. I had a big drafting board and desk and research table, and everything was loaded with my cartooning and my illustration. And he came to me one day and said, "Would you like to be a pen and ink illustrator and artist for our company?" And I said, "Well, I'd love that. That'd be cool." So that's what I did. And we had a 120-ton rig. I don't remember how big it was. The Caterpillar tracks on it were above your head. That's how big the Caterpillar tracks, you couldn't quite reach the top of the top tread. A drilling rig, this massive rig, biggest one we built. And one of my jobs with my small team, 4 guys, 2 artists, 2 illustrators. And one of my jobs was doing the instruction manuals for that book, for that rig. We had 3, not these size book, 3-ring binder books. And they took my picture with my elbow like this on a stack of books, and that was just one of 3. We had a stack of books that high for the electrical how-to manuals. We had a stack that tall from the floor on the hydraulic manuals, and we had a stack that tall for the mechanical end of it. And it was a cool job. Everybody should have it. Get to go out on the rig with a Polaroid camera in those days. Take a picture of a pump, you don't have a clue what it is. It's a hydraulic pump. You got the name, the serial number, you take a picture of it from a couple of different angles. You lay down on the ground if you have to. You get some good pictures. They don't want the photos. They want you to draw it. You go back to your desk and your board and you draw pen and ink. And you draw that rig, that pump, and the lines that go to it and the frame around it. And then you get the technical writer to sit down and explain how to replace that pump, all the details. And the technical writer puts the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in there. And after he puts the steps in, then you read his steps and look at your drawing, and you draw additional drawings to go with his steps so that a rookie out in the field in Alaska, where we sent that rig, can actually pick that up and say, okay, I got to replace this pump here, and here are the instructions, and here's how. And that's it. Nobody read the whole stack of books. It was as needed. You read it when something broke. And I'm not criticizing that when I talk about that's the way we treat the Bible. I think it's all right to do that because at least we're turning to God and God's Word in time of trouble. And the Old Testament paints that picture of humanity hundreds of times. In my distress, I cried out to the Lord. That's all right. That's what we do. And in my distress, He heard me. But before you leave today, I just want to plant a simple notion in your head that is slightly possible that we're missing some of life's blessings by not reading preventive maintenance ahead of time, by just waiting until the bottom falls out, till we're broke, till we're depressed, till our marriages are ended, till our kids are rebelling. If we just wait until crisis comes and then we turn to the manual, and that's what I want you to think of the Bible today. It's a manual. It's an owner's manual. Paul put this cute verse in Romans, writing to the church at Rome, and he said, why are you questioning the way God made you? And the statement that I captured out of that entire dialogue in the 9th chapter is, should the thing, and let me play with the words. You've read it on the screen already. Shall the thing formed say to him who formed it, why have you made me like this? But let me just tweak the words for a moment to go along with my theme for the next few minutes. Shall the thing manufactured say to the one who manufactured it, that ain't the way I work. That ain't the way I roll, dude. If my car ever speaks back to me, I don't want to be a Chevy. I want to be a Ford. Well, if you got that much power to talk to me like Balaam's donkey, you should have said Ferrari. You're an idiot. If I got the power to transform me from being a Chevy, I'm not going to pick Ford. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm Ferrari today. That's kind of where we are as a people right now. I don't want to be a woman. I want to be a man. Well, okay. How's that working out for you? I've watched some embarrassingly sad videos that will never get the public play they ought to get. most Americans don't even know that there's a whole subculture, a group of people in America who have been lied to and cajoled and sent to doctors and catered to and had sex change surgery and hate that they did it and regret it and wish to God somebody would have counseled them and kept them from taking that step. But they don't get any publicity. You can find them. If you look hard enough, you can find them. They got testimony out there saying, please, please, politicians, stop this nonsense. You're not supposed to let a kid tell God. You saw an interview before the presidency election with Joe Biden saying to a woman who said, my 8-year-old son, wants to identify as a girl, and Biden promises, and nobody should have a right to tell that child, wait a minute, in the owner's manual, a parent is supposed to train up a child in the way he should go. That's in the owner's manual. But we don't read the owner's manual. We just wait until a crisis comes or somebody gets mad at us and mean, and then we grab the owner's manual and say, thou shalt not judge. Don't judge me. It's in the book. If that's all it becomes is my go-to to defend my position, my go-to to argue my politics, or my go-to in time of crisis, there's nothing wrong with using it for whatever you need to use it for, but you might be cheating yourself out of all you could get out of that vehicle.